Hello, my name is Holly from My Daily HAED. Thank you for joining me today. Today is Thursday, October 19th, 2023, and we're here to talk about cross stitch. I hope that you have been having a lovely day, and let's get started. First, we'll be talking about Mini Evening from artwork by Leonid Afremov, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. It's being stitched on 18 count aida with 2/1 full cross. I have that it's now reached 39.26% as of this morning. I have stitched on it a bit for today, and then I decided to jump in and give you an update really quickly. Last time you saw this, it was at 28.09%, so I've stitched on it a bit more than I thought I had. Now, I've always gone on about how wonderful and easy this one is. However, this bit here in the middle in the sky, it is nothing but confetti. It's, you know, in the turquoisey bits or in the trees, they're usually quite, you know, the tree trunks down here in the grass or whatever, that's usually very easy stitching. However, in here, you're changing colors. And you're doing one stitch, two stitch, one stitch, two stitch. But it's still beautiful. I'm still enjoying it. I'm still planning to, I was considering chopping it off or amending it, but at this point in time, I'm going to stitch it as charted and go all the way through. My husband loves it. He's going, oh, when are you going to be finished with it? But I'm not quite to 40%, so I've still got quite a bit to go. I definitely won't be getting this done before New Year's Eve, but I will work on it. Yeah, I'll get it done. I will get it done. I was just looking at my notes there. I'll get it done before March, and I think I'll still treat myself to a start sometime in December, or at least New Year's Eve. Okay. Second thing we're talking about is Christmas and Santa. Christmas scene, Santa and Animals by Charting Creations. This is being stitched. This is being stitched on 22 count hardanger, 1/1 full cross, and it's currently at 3.50, and it was at 2.53 when you last saw it. So I've done another percentage on it. Because I'm working in the columns, it's only just a wee bit there. It's nothing much to see yet. Lindsay Bridges 5 on Instagram, she's doing it and it's beautiful, and someone else is doing it. I haven't been able to find them again, even though I liked it when I saw them. Now, next thing I'll be talking about is the Bucilla Tiny Stockings ornaments. Last time I showed it to you, I was working on, let's see, that one, the middle one, the kitten. I numbered it number 13, and it's done. When I finally got stuck into it, it went quite well. And then I was ambitious and motivated because I really love that one, and this is the Birdhouse number 14, and I worked on it and completed it within a few days. I don't remember how many days it took me. I'm quite happy with that. And now I'm currently working on number 15, Joy, which is at this point here. I stalled on this one. I'm finding the yellows quite challenging to stitch on. I've got all those, and the whenever you're doing the words partially back stitched and partially stitched, it can be quite tricky to anchor it. So I had to start down here and then come up here and do it, because it's with it being so so few stitches, I'd find it difficult to anchor it without causing a mess. So, and these are the ones that I have done previously. I have done, I'll just show them to you. And I'm just trying to see which ones are which. Let's see. This one is number 9. I numbered it as number 9. This one is number 10, the lighthouse. This is the poinsettia, number 11, and that is number 12. Isn't it so pretty? Anyway, I think I figured out why it's taken me just so cotton picking long to get back. I just wasn't enthusiastic about the cat, even though I'm glad I got it done. But it's just one of those things where it's like I didn't want to do it, but I planned to do it, but I wasn't as enthusiastic to do it, I shall say. So fortunately, on the bottom half of the sheet, the last 15, I've already done one of those, but I'll have to redo number 23. I'll be redoing that one because I'd made it already and then gave it to my son and his fiance. I'm not overly keen about the dog, or there's a couple I'm not, yeah, the dog is number one I'm not looking forward to either. It's too jumbledy. It doesn't, to me, it doesn't look distinct, but I'm determined to do all of them, and then I'll restitch them. But the rest of them I'm really happy, looking forward to doing, especially the cardinal. You see the cardinal one down there? Isn't it lovely? And the reindeer one I'm looking forward to doing. There's just so many pretty ones down. That's the one I'm not overly keen on doing, but I'll do it. And the cat one came out a lot better than I expected. But yeah, those will be coming along sometime soon. They won't be done this year. I'm not willing to sideline my mini evening to get that done. Also, I worked on the stamped, the the fall pumpkin one, and that is, crumbs, I'll put this away now, not away, but I'll put it up on there, so I have to show it to you, because this is, anyway, this says welcome fall. I bought this last year with the intentions of working on it when I was waiting in the car for various different pieces. I've taken it on holiday every time I've gone, and I quickly realized that stitching on a stamped kit beside the pool is not very sensible, because you can get it damp and then you'll mess up the pattern. Also, anyway, I stitched on this. I was stitching along here to do, I've been trying to stitch along, because the way this is stamped, the blues, a lot of the stitches and a lot of the stamped markings are the same blooming cotton picking color, right? So there's white for one of the blues, but the other two blues in the wallpaper pattern, 2 of the 3 symbols are blues, and then you have the white, which is another blue. And when I was working on it on Monday, I went to thread up 6 more needles, because of the way they've got so much block stitching on this wallpaper. What I've been doing is filling up 6 needles at a time, because it's a 14 count. And I'm just taking each of the 6 strands of the floss that I have and filling them up, and then just working that floss until it's completely gone. Well, unfortunately, because the lighting, the light was funny, it was cloudy, so I couldn't see the difference between the 2 blues, and I've picked up the wrong blue, and I went to stitch it because I was trying to fill in this, what is it, the dark blue stitching, and I ended up picking up the light blue stitching, so this floss, and so I've ended up having to come over here and start stitching down because I've got these all preloaded and I need to stitch it anyway, so I'm just gonna stitch this and just keep on going. But what I was going to say is that after mini evening is, and I might start working on it a little bit here and there on it anyway because it's the season, but because all the symbols, yeah, there's several different yellows and golds, and if you're looking at it, it's difficult to discern if you don't have good light, which is the light yellow or the dark yellow, because the symbols are so close. So I think what I'm going to have to do is start working the flowers. I still want to work in rows, but I think what I'm going to have to do is do the flowers when I'm in really good light indoors, and then maybe leave the wallpaper bits so when I'm working out, when I'm waiting in the car or wherever I need to be waiting, I can work on it, because that's never going to get done if I don't start working on it indoors. I was trying to do some of the flowers in the car on Monday, and I just couldn't see the difference between the medium yellow and the dark yellow square. I'm just like, oh, it's driving me crazy. But I'll be really, I love this. It's yeah, it'll be something lovely to hang up in autumn. Yeah, I've got I've usually well, the last few years I've been trying to be good about on September 1st hanging my autumnal wreath, and yeah, the first day of spring hanging up my spring wreath, and this changing over to my summer wreath. So I'm trying to, yeah, for the 1st of December hanging up my Christmas wreath and things like that. So I'm trying to bring those little traditions into my life to make it nice. Yeah, I've hung wreaths and stuff before, but I've been making a concentrated effort that on set days hanging out my wreaths, just because it brings a smile to my face. If I like it, and it's yeah, I like it. It's just the way I like to do it. I had a friend asking me about quilting because we were chatting about quilts, and this, I don't know if I've shown this to you. I think I have. But this is the first quilt I ever worked on. This is, goodness, it's a 9-patch quilt that my grandmother and I and a few other family members, we hand stitched this, we hand quilted this on a handmade quilt frame that my granddaddy made. But the fabrics in this are from my grandmother's fabric scraps, and there's fabric in here from my great grandmother's clothes, and you can see the ones that are really fraying, they're just super fabric, you know, they've just melted away, considering my great grandmother died in 1969, and this was part of her clothes then. Also, my grandmother had certain clothes that she had in here and then she made, you know, it's like little play suits and things that that she'd made. And so this has got a lot of memories. There's scraps, fabric scraps from clothes, either from the clothes themselves or the fabric remnants left over after making clothes. And yeah, I had little play suits made from these, and my grandmother made me, remember when you had textbooks at school and you had to cover them in paper and stuff, and of course the paper just melts away after, because it was that like paper bag kind of paper, and it would just kind of, and you'd get charged if you didn't keep your books in good condition. So my grandmother would make me some little fabric covers to go slips, book slips to go over the books to keep them protected and stuff. So this has a lot of memories, and I just remember sitting in Mississippi in insanely in the summertime in the mid-90s to 100, and you're sitting down quilting because it's just giving you something to do. And this is just my grandmother just pieced this together, and then we quilted it. So this was the first quilt I remember ever working on. I think I was about 14 or 15 at the time, and yeah, it was a thing still when I was growing up, where out in the country you'd have the occasional quilting bee, and we'd go in and work on other people's quilts, and or we'd be making quilts to donate or to give away and stuff, which was really lovely. Having a community achievement like that was really super cool. That's all the crafty bits I've got going on. It's just a quick little life update. My husband and I both were ill. I was going to do this a couple of weeks ago, but my husband brought a cold home from work one day, and then I got it a couple of days later, and it's just one of those things. Yeah, it's the odd time. It's been going on for all my life, where in autumn people just tend to catch a cold, and then our worry was he caught this cold like a week and a half before his cataract surgery, and they said they wouldn't do it if he was still ill. So we're both on pins and needles worried about him getting, but fortunately he had his surgery on Monday. Everything went really well. The staff were amazing. They made him very comfortable, and at this moment in time, he is healing very well. He's back at work. He went back to work last night, and life is chugging along properly really well, so it's not a problem. We might be having guests next week. I hope we do, but they're having some illnesses as well, so if they do, they do. If they don't, they don't. But we haven't seen them in a couple of years, so it'd be really lovely to see them. Other than that, it's a grey, dark, gloomy, chilly day in Northumberland, UK. I had to go out and post a birthday card, and it's just not nice outside. It's the kind of weather that reminds me of Winnie the Pooh. It's a rather blustery day outside. But other than that, I've been doing my knitting, and trying to catch up on housework that just didn't make it. There were a few days there that I wasn't up to doing much. So that's what I'm doing. And since we've got guests coming next week, I'm going to have to really plow into it, and get the things that didn't get done for a while. And we shall go from there. And I'm just looking forward to start putting my Christmas decorations up next month. One of the things I was doing is I was considering what my next start will be in my cross stitch. I've bought 12 different patterns that I've got already waiting on my Kindle for me to stitch, and I'm not one to do a stash per se. If I'm not going to stitch it, I really don't think it's sensible to buy. But I have so many nice patterns, and show you the mock-ups are the ones I'm planning to do. I was talking to my friend, and she was saying, I was saying I might not do Ray of Light by David Pinfound because of the mock-up. Wasn't it great? But we were talking about it. It is lovely. I do like lighthouses and stuff. And what we found is she did some sleuthing on internet, and she found one done on 18 count, and I certainly wouldn't have liked that because it would be too pixelated. But she did find one, I think on 25 count or 28 count, and I think that's what I'll do for the ray of light, is do it on a smaller count so that the pixelation isn't so apparent. That ray of light isn't one of the ones I'll be doing first. I do have about 6 that I'm trying to choose between. My husband's voting for the one with the bike. Yeah. And I'm thinking about the reef, the one with that Jeep girl stitches, and Laura, the colorful stitching girl, and several other people are doing the reef. I find that incredibly vibrant and exciting to do. But I love Thomas Kincaid. I've got one of those, Glory of Morning. I've got so many exciting patterns to do that I'm really having to. I'm really struggling on deciding, because every time I think about it, I'll think, oh, maybe I'll do that one. Then the next time I think about it, oh, maybe I want to do that one. Or I look at them all and I'm sitting there trying to pick and choose which one to start. And I've got 2 that I'm cropping. I've got 3 patterns that are, one of them's 23,000, one of them's 32 or 33, and another one's 50. So I've got 2, 3, 4 of them that are quite small in full coverage terms, I guess, that I was considering doing, but I don't know. There's David Davidson. Is it David Davidson? The Davidson one where it's the mountain cabin. I love that one as well. There's one, I've got my one Artecy one that I love. So I've got all these patterns and I'm just like, oh, I want to do them. But I have determined that the ray of light and the Santa and Snowman one I won't be doing anytime soon. But I still have to pick and choose and decide what I'm going to do for the rest of them. What I'm going to be stitching next. I might just write them all down and then get my husband to pick one out of a bowl for me. Or I've asked him, and he's like, oh, he likes the bicycle one first. But the bicycle one, as much as I love it, I don't know if I want. I can't decide. Indecision. I'm considering all the different patterns. Actually, I'll go get them. This is one of them, the HAED Flower Mart by Donna Gelsinger. This is kitted up. The Reef by John Enright. This is kitted up as well. Most of these are kitted up already. Now this is another Donna Gelsinger, and that is Mini Serenity Lane. And that one is Mini Glory of Evening by Thomas Kincaid. Isn't it stunning? I just love that. I love his work anyway. This is Minnie's Story, is a HAED Story Keep Tiki Beach Sunset by Amy Stewart. Oh, this is one I'm considering cropping. This is Minnie Lakeside by Donna Gelsinger again. The majority of what I want to do is this bit here. I remember when Leanne at Small Town Stitches was stitching it, and she was saying this is confetti, and this is confetti, and this is confetti. And I bought the Quick Stitch. The Quick Stitch I didn't look at the stitches until after I bought it, which is the central part there. But it was 300,000 stitches, and that's just way too many stitches for me to. And I thought what I'll start doing for this is start working down the center, and do like one color on each side, and just keep going until I get to a point, and I might cut off a bit on the bottom as well. But I've got fabric and the thread to do the whole thing if I stitching it and decide that's what I want to do. But I think what I'll do is just start in the middle and then probably work that way, and then, or vice versa, and just keep working at it that way and just keep swapping back and forth until I've worked it to the point where I really like it. And I'll see, this is so dark and gloomy. If it's this dark and gloomy in real life after it's stitched, I don't think I want to go through and stitch all that dark and gloominess. I really don't think it adds much to the picture, but I might change my mind. And this is the Artecy chart. I can't remember who it's, but this is the Peace River Cabin by Kim Norlian. It's the first Artecy chart I've ever bought. And what sold me on it was the water, and this is my husband's ideal place to live, and he loves blue pickup. We both love old, like vintage cars and stuff like in that era in the 50s. So it looks like a perfect place. And this is the one that is Dominic Davison. That's what it is. The Minnie the Mountain Cabin by Dominic Davison. Yet again, out in the middle of nowhere, by a lake, beautiful scenery. I do love nature. I do love being out in the middle of nowhere. Now this is another one that I'm planning on cropping. I've already cropped it on my Kindle, so I'll be cutting out a lot of the background here, and all of this here. So I'll just be doing the central part. To me, it's just unnecessary. And yet again, I've got fabric and a thread to do the entire thing, but I can't see myself doing all of that there unless it really looks awful the way I've cropped it. Now this is the Ray of Light Lighthouse by David Penfound. And you're looking at it like here and it looks beautiful, but if you look at the mock-up, and this is what put me off, is in the mock-up you could see like an obvious difference. And yes, there is light along the side there, but it just looked really awful in the pen. But doing it on a smaller count, it should be lovely. I mean, this is one of the ones my husband's like, couldn't you do the boat in blue? And I'm like, no. It's, I'd probably forget, and then I'm not going to sit there and change all of those stitches just on that one little bit. It's not I'm supposed to be relaxing, not stressing out over doing something like that. This is another one that I decided I really don't like stitching eyes and faces. This one won't be anytime soon, but I still love the image. I don't know if I've got Santa and animals going. That's going to be quite a long time going. And then I've got the little snow much in love with the two little snowmen. So I don't want to be doing this another Christmas cross stitch for quite a long time. Let's see. Oh, and there's one other that I've got that I don't think I've ever shown you guys. And it's the tiny little cross. I think Colorful Stitching Girl was doing it. She did it for her mom or whatever. I've seen other people working on it. The reason I bought that is because I was going to try 28 count fabric, just so that I could see if I've become quite comfortable stitching on 25 count. So I was just seeing if I could grade down and go to a 28 count, see if I could like it. And I chose the smallest. I was thinking about doing Snow Much in Love on it, but because there's so many light colors in Snow Much in Love, And I found the light colors to be a challenge on the 25 count when I did Falling Snow. I decided that I would I would go into the smallest HAED that I could find, or the smallest full coverage I could find that I wanted to do. So that is all that I've got for you today. I hope to be back to you quicker. My husband's next eye surgery is not until the end of December now, and he's not as trepidatious about it now, since he's done really well with this one. So that's a major blessing, because he was really weighing on his mind. It looks like he won't be able to go fishing very much now that the weather's set in for the winter. I hope that wherever you are, that you're warm and cozy and happy and healthy, and that life is treating you really well. You are all in my thoughts and prayers, and I hope you have a lovely day. Take care.